Now I'm using my 276 to start adding the final hairs under Oscar's bandana and pulling them into the background. This is called a vignette. I haven't included all of Oscar's body. I've kind of faded him out around the neck and the bottom portion of his chest, and instead of painting his entire body. This is 253 Cocoa Brown. The hairs are quite long in this part of the dog, so I'm just drawing them out with the 276. Varying the direction somewhat, that creates a lot of interest. Going back to the cocoa brown, pulling some of the brown hairs over the buff colored hairs, the lighter ones. Now I'm using my 305 Spruce Blue to bring the background up in between some of those hairs. So you can see how beautifully this works to pull the whole thing together and allow the hairs to flow freely into the background. Now here I'm going to use the Conte pencil, number 47, to pull some single hairs out into the background. I got a little bit on there, so I'm blowing it off with my camera blower. And back to the 276. I'm working around the dog tags now, adding the longer hairs. I've switched to the 299 gray to add the hair that's located underneath the tags. This is the 263 Indian Red. I'm darkening the hair on the other side of the dart tags on Oscar's chest. I'm using white. I'm using it in a holder that I got from Jerry's Artorama, which is quite nice for holding short sticks of pastel so that you can still use them. So this is a shorter white, and it's inside the holder. So if you're interested in those, you can go to Jerry's and look under pastel holders and find them there. Now I'm using my white pastel pencil to draw out a few bright hairs. Now we're going to add the dog tags. I'm using my 9B graphite pencil to outline the little loops that hold the dog tags onto the collar. I'm going to add a highlight with our blue Conte pencil, number 29. I'm drawing it around the rim. There are two tags, one that's round and one the shape of a bone. Now I'm going to show you something really cool. We're going to emboss the tag. So I can use my white charcoal pencil to write something on the tag. You can write the actual tag numbers, which was what I did in this case. You could write the dog's name. Whatever you write with the white pencil is going to show through our other colors. So I'm drawing that in, and I'm outlining the rim of the dog tags, the one on top and the one underneath. Now I'm going to color it. I'm going to flat color this in with NuPastel 415 Tile Blue. So I'm just going to color, and as you can see, the numbers I put in with the white show through that color. Now I'm going to highlight the tag with 235 light blue because it's shiny. So on the right side, I'm going to add a shine by lightening it with the 235 blue. Now I'm going to add some shadow where the hair falls across it with the 305 spruce blue. So around the hole that the little loop goes through, and on the edge, there's a raised edge on a tag. I'm using the 305 there as well. So just on this left side, where the shadow from the hair comes, I'm going to add that darker color, which is going to give the illusion of shiny metal. I'm adding a little more 235 blue. I'm putting a little bit around that hole, which accentuates that as well. So now I'm using my white charcoal pencil to add a highlight on the loop and around the hole. And I'm putting a couple of highlights on the rim of the tag. Adding a teensy more dark places with my 305 spruce blue. Now the second tag, I'm coloring it in with 208 sap green. So it's just a flat green color. You could make it any color, I chose that. This is 298 bottle green that I'm coloring the darker area of the tag with. That's creating that shadow underneath the blue tag. Now I'm using the 235 blue to lighten the green on the edge. More sap green. A little bit of tile blue just at that rim. Casts a little bit of a blue color on there. Now this tag, you can't see what's written on it because it's hidden by the first tag. Now I'm using my white charcoal pencil to outline the edge of the tag. I'm using some white 211 NuPastel to add a bright highlight just on the rim of both tags. And now I'm going to draw the hair that is coming from underneath the collar, and it's actually coming down over the tag. Now you can use this to make your dog tags any color you want, just substitute other colors. So I'm using 276 now to continue adding hair to Oscar's chest. Now the tag goes underneath the hair, so I'm using the tile blue, the 415, to add a little blue color where it goes underneath Oscar's hair. We see just a hint of it there. I'm going to curl those hairs around a little bit, add some interest to that area using the corner of my NuPastel stick. I'm continuing to add hairs with the white NuPastel on Oscar's chest. Now I'm using the 276. And I'm also using my Conte pencil, my 47, to make some pretty hairs. And now we're going to finish the background. I'm using some blue to add the blue up to the hairs of Oscar's chest. And that's the 508.5 Prussian blue. Then I'm using the 727.3 dark gray, blue gray, to go over that blue. I'm going to use the same colors we've been using, the 276 buff, 299 gray, and the 211 white to finish the hairs on Oscar's chest. And to continue finish painting Oscar's chest. I'm going to keep this in real time so you can watch all the strokes I make. I try to vary the strokes so they're not all the same. His hair was very curly, so I try to include those curls wherever I can to enhance that and to show variety in my work. I'm going to switch to the white NuPastel 211. Add some brighter hairs. I'm going to use my white charcoal pencil to add some curly, stray wild hairs to make beautiful accents to your work. Going back to the white NuPastel. I'm just kind of looking over my picture now, seeing where it needs some additional hairs or things that I want to add. I'm putting more white hair on this left side of the dog because this is where the light is striking. I do think it needs a few more hairs on the right side, and so I'm going to add those. Now I'm going to finish the background using that dark blue again and the gray over top it. And now that I've put that base in, I can add those hairs with 276. But I want to get that base underneath it first. And now I'm just evening out the remainder of my background. You can see how much darker it is on the right side than on the left. And I love that bright blue that's down on the left bottom side. Continuing to smooth that out. I hope you've enjoyed this project as much as I have, and I hope you'll give Painting Oscar a try.